Hey ladies, I'm here for the first mini workshop today. A spin-off of the video I did on Friday. And I'm trying to get there we go. I hope that you're doing good this Monday. It's rainy in Indiana. I know most of you are like from around here, so it's really gloomy out. But I'm psyched to be showing you guys this stuff today. First, I want to show you the card that I pulled this morning. I've been doing like my oracle readings and cards, which these are awesome. These are so pretty, and I'm going to do a training on how to use oracle cards because they're not like demonic, okay? Let's just get that out there first. Oracle cards are just like a tool for guidance. They're not anything like witchcrafty and all that. They're actually really cool tools to get some guidance. And this morning, I do this quick little 2-card spread where it's like what your soul or God is wanting you to know today. And then with an action step, the second card is an action step. And look at this card, you guys. So it's called I'm Sorry. It's the I'm Sorry card. And it is about defenselessness, righting past wrongs, and uprooting. You guys, I'm about to teach you about forgiving yourself. And I got this card today. How crazy is that? Seriously. It's like when I pulled it and I started reading the thing in here, I was like, no flipping way. So yeah, it's so fun. I did a reading for Amber this past weekend, and then I did one for my friend Cassie the other day, and it's just fun stuff to give you like direction towards like a question or something that's bothering you. So anyway, this card right here is saying I'm sorry to people that you've wronged in the past, which is what brings us to today with forgiving yourself. So self-forgiveness, owning your past, that is where it starts when you start to work on not taking shit personally. That's where it started for me. It might be different for someone else, but for me, something that really helped was me forgiving all of the things that I had done prior up to that day when I did this ritual of writing myself a letter. We'll get into it, but here's the thing. You made a mistake. You can't take it back. You are going to come up across people who want to keep throwing that in your face constantly. And then that is when we feel like people that aren't even really, like, they'll pass judgment. They think they can pass criticism all the time. They can criticize you for your decisions, and maybe they're not the ones that they would have made. Or on Facebook, you feel like, at least this is how I felt with all of my drama in my life that a lot of people knew about around here. At least that's what I thought, right? In my head, I would post about my drama, and then I'm sure I felt like, okay, people are probably being like, oh, it's just Nikki. She's always dating somebody different or whatever. I would think that they would say, but I always felt a lot of shame around the fact that I wasn't married yet, and I had 2 kids, and when I was pregnant with Izzy, I wasn't married, and I saw all my friends getting married. And so anyway, when life hasn't turned out the way you want it, and you haven't accepted your life as it is, because that's also where a lot of our anger and frustration comes from, when we haven't accepted a situation as it is. And so, for instance, say that you're living your life and your husband left you or cheated on you, and so you live every day blaming him for your shitty life, and that now you have no help or very little help, and maybe like he got married and his ex-wife is like a total whatever to you. Anyway, when you're constantly focused on all of the crap that is going wrong for you, more stuff is going to go wrong. This is just the law of attraction. This comes right back to it. Where energy goes, or where focus goes, energy flows. That is 100% correct. So if you keep on thinking about all the crappy things going on in your life, you're going to get more crappy things. So to forgive yourself for your past and to own it and to love it, first of all, and appreciate it, because I want you to ask yourself right now, do you love your past? Do you appreciate the struggles and the lessons that you have learned up to this point? Because you're in a place where, and I don't know if you're in a good place or a bad place mentally right now, but up until this point, everything that you've done, how do you feel about it? So really think about that. How do you feel right now about your past? Are you embarrassed about it? Do you, does somebody bring up something that you dated somebody one time and you don't want to talk about it? Or, are you still upset about a breakup? I mean, things that happen in our life happen for a reason. Okay. Remember that. Remember, if you have recently went through a breakup or recently felt some heartache, remember that everything happens for a reason. I mean, it doesn't just happen for no reason. There's a lesson to be learned there. And until you learn that lesson, it's going to keep happening. It just is. It's like, that's another law that just cannot be mistaken. So yeah, to forgive your past, think about those times. Get out your journal. If you have a journal, I'm so proud of you. If you don't, go get one or just get a piece of paper like this. I got this journal at the dollar store right here in Walton. I love it. It's so cute. I think it was like the last one though. Maybe you'll get some more. But it was only like $3 and I only use this journal to put like things that I want to happen. It's like my manifesting journal, but also my gratefulness, like my grateful things I'm grateful for at night, like I'll write them in here. So get this out and just write down all of the things that you're screwed up about still, or you think people are still talking about, or you feel embarrassed about. For instance, for me, my addiction, right? I was addicted to pain pills, and I would not be able to even say that to you if I hadn't forgiven myself for that, and then the actions that and the decisions that I chose while I was doing pills and all of that. I've worked on that. I've done a lot of like inner healing on that part of me. Meditation is also great for healing past wounds like that. I mean, of course, therapy, but if you can't afford therapy, which I didn't, I just used meditation, Headspace, and now I'm using the Calm app, but they have like programs, like meditation courses on self-forgiveness to help you get through this stuff, because you guys, meditation is like a rock star. I'm telling you, if I could just if I could give everybody something, it would be this app. So that's the first thing. Just write down all of your stuff that you've done, all your mistakes that pop into your mind. Don't sit on this for a long time, but I mean things that keep coming up for you. Write them down, okay? And then what would you do different moving forward? First of all, you're not going to do that same thing again. You're not going to, if you're always late, this is one that I would always do. If I was always late to like important events, I'm like always a half hour late or something, I would start making sure that I would get, because I'd always hear, oh, Nikki's going to be late, which that's not a horrible thing, but like it really did bother me. And so I did something about it, because here's the thing. If something bothers you and you don't do anything about it, you can't bitch about it. If you're going to complain about something, but you're not going to do anything about it, you're just a whiner, and whining just isn't the way to be. So write that down. And then what you're going to do is if you hurt anyone. So like I knew that I hurt like my sisters. I know I've hurt my mom, and I know I apologize to them for anything that I've done to you that hurt you. That was like, oh my gosh, Nikki's like, she's not cool anymore. Like if I did anything to hurt you, I'm sorry, and be genuinely sorry and apologize. Talk about it if you need to. I know like even now, like me and Cassie, one of my best friends, like if we we will be very honest with one another. And if I hurt her, I'd want to tell her sorry, talk about it, and then we'll move forward and not keep on rehashing. That's another thing. Do not allow others, like if you do this exercise and you say you're sorry to people, and if it's been a very long time since you've hurt this person, if you don't want to actually reach out to them, you don't really have to reach out to them. You can do it energetically. And I know if you don't meditate and you're not really into energy work, you don't really know what I mean, but you can write them a letter and not give it to them, or you can send them a message and just say, hey, I want to tell you I'm sorry. Not to really start anything, but just to get, because what that does, more than telling them, it's going to help you feel better. You're going to have like a weight lifted off of your shoulders just by saying those words. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to whoever that I cheated on, or that your boyfriend cheated on me or cheated on you with me, because that happened. I was the one they cheated with. I apologized to the girlfriend. And I'm just being totally honest with you guys. That is what it's about, being honest and cutting out the bullshit. Because when you are layered on upon layer of just bullshit and like being ingenuine, then it doesn't mean anything. When you're just saying I'm sorry to say I'm sorry, and then you continue to do the same thing, then whatever, it doesn't even mean anything. But you'll know. And when you say I'm sorry, it almost cuts like a cord. And there's also cord cutting meditations that you can do, and I'll put some suggestions in the comments below. But you do have an energetic cord to the people who you have hurt. And then also the past mistakes, and I mean mistakes of like you chose to go one way when you should have went the other way, which really, the more we get into it, there's never really a one way you should go. It's wherever you feel best to go. And I'm not talking about you choosing to go to another college than what your parents said you should go to. That's not a mistake. And I think that that's good. That's a point to be, I wanted to bring that up, because just because people tell you what you should do and you decide not to do that, yes, you hurt that person, go tell them you're sorry, but you're not sorry for the action. So anyway, I want you to write yourself a letter. Write yourself a letter and to yourself, because you are healing. If you're in this group, you're healing. And when you heal, you're healing your past self. So like your self right now isn't the same self that was like 4 years ago. And that might be when everything happened. And you want to write yourself a letter to your past self and say, I'm sorry for all of the things I put you through and how I allowed you to be treated, how the lack of the boundaries. And when you start forgiving yourself and forgiving your past, it opens up a world of opportunity for you. I swear, I promise you, when you do this exercise and you really sit down and you think about all of the things that you need to forgive yourself for. And also another thing that helped me, well, that I did, and I still do it sometimes, is that I'll go through the lessons I learned and write down like the situation, and then write the lesson that I learned from that. And this isn't always easy to do just like in sitting down in one sitting, right? Because things will pop up throughout your day as you're doing other things. And we can't always remember all of the things that we've done wrong in our life or that we've fucked up with, right? So that is 2 things I would do. Write a letter to yourself, and then also sit down and write out the situations that taught you something, because you want to take those lessons and use them and apply them, right? You want to be able to apply these lessons to your life moving forward, because that's what they were there for. That's what God put them there for. Okay? And so write a letter, write down your past, do your wrongdoings, and also apologize to people if you're able to. Send them a quick message, which I know sometimes when we send an apology to somebody, especially if you're a single female and you hurt like a guy and he take it as you trying to open up conversation. So I don't think about it before you actually send a message to someone to say, I'm sorry. It depends on who that person is and stuff, because you can tell people you're sorry. And then also make sure you don't ever do it again. Moving forward, what can you do not to do that again? So write a letter to yourself, write down your stuff that happened, your mistakes, and the lessons that came from those mistakes. And then the third one that I want you to do is, and it just slipped my mind, like seriously, just slipped my mind. Oh, so what you're going to do differently moving forward, okay? Like, how are you going to live your life, and you choose today to live your life a certain way, and also to embrace your past. Because once you forgive yourself and you say you're sorry to people and you cut all those cords, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I love my past. I want to give it a hug. That's how I feel. I love everything that I've been through because it shaped who I am now. And I'm a badass. All right. I am badass. I love who I am. And I know that I have good intentions for anyone that's around me I don't want to hurt anyone ever, but I also don't want to sugarcoat anything. And I love myself more than anything. I used to not like myself. So I also had to say sorry to my older self. That's why you write the letter. But the steps to take moving forward that will not, that will not allow, you won't be making those mistakes again. But write yourself a letter. And then also when you do make a mistake or in the past, I'm sure you still you look at it from all different angles and you stew on it and you talk bad to yourself. You have negative self-talk, and that's got to stop. It's got to stop because you're not going to change it. You did it, and whoever is upset with you is upset with you. It's happening. The only thing you can do now is move forward in a way that everyone is going to get peace in some way, because then you're going to move on. Move on. Don't sit somewhere for long because everyone else is mad at you and you should be ashamed of yourself. No, yeah, you can be ashamed of yourself for a little bit and we'll learn the lesson, but then move on. And here's why I'm so big on forgiving yourself. When other people, and how this ties into taking things personally, is when other people criticize you, when they judge you, pass judgment, when they are telling you that you did something wrong, or maybe they're passively, like, for instance, I was telling Cassie earlier about a coworker giving you an apple for lunch when usually they give you a candy bar. You'll take that as, oh, they're saying I need to lose weight. I mean, I know that's like very, very like far-fetched, but I'm saying that's what I mean by taking things personally, is that you take people's actions and words as a personal attack, like they are intentionally meaning to attack you, which some of them might, right? But anytime someone passes judgment or criticism or anything to you and talks about your actions or tells you should have done something differently, constructive criticism and then criticizing or judging are two different things. And we're going to talk about constructive criticism later on in the week. But for now, just remember that when we have not forgiven ourselves, we will take a lot of things personally, because like, for example, when I used to feel like a sleazy woman because I like to date. And then as I was healing and I wasn't, and I'm, with David, first of all, he would say things about all the men that I dated before. And before I had healed from that in my life, I would get really offensive to it and take it very personally. Like, how dare you talk about, like, I'm not a sleazy woman anymore. Like, I would get really angry because, first of all, he shouldn't have said that. Like, that's not cool at all. But people that like to prey on your weaknesses and your mistakes, they will do that. And then when you haven't forgiven yourself, you're going to fall into that. However, now that I have forgiven myself, and when he says stuff like that, I'll look straight at him and be like, well, that's your problem. I loved that time of my life. And I swear to you, that's what I say. I loved that time of my life because I met some really cool people. I had some cool experiences, and it doesn't bother me. Sorry, it bothers you. And that's what happens. That's what happens when you heal. Things stop, they don't bother you anymore, or they don't make you ashamed of yourself, because you know that those built this beautiful human being that you are. See what I'm saying? So when you forgive yourself and you stop dwelling on these things that have happened in your life that you didn't do quite right or whatever, you hurt people, say you're sorry, write yourself a letter and move on, okay? And when then they bring them back up, just say, you know what? I love that about myself. maybe I hope that you can, learn to do the same one day, but you can't hurt me. And really what that's doing is taking your power back fully. You aren't allowing anyone to get under your skin anymore because it's just not possible, because you are fully loving every single part of you. And when that happens, it's like a game changer and people cannot shake you. And that is what this whole series is about this week, is that you will become an unshakable woman and you'll stand in your truth, and you're not going to step out of it just because somebody says something that offends you and you take it personally. Reason why I'm doing this whole thing this week. And you are going to stay in your truth and stand your ground with your shoulders back with confidence and be like, yep, you're right. That did happen. And you know what? I love it because it shaped who I am now. And not cocky, just like being confident in your truth. That's what it is. Okay. So there you go. That is my my action for today, is to write yourself a letter, forgive yourself for all the shit that you've done in your life that people like to bring up in your face that don't have power over you anymore. You're taking your power back day by day this week. In the next 5 days, my wish for you is that you will take your power back from all of these people in your life that you're allowing to get under your skin. You're allowing to shake you. You're allowing to, you're having a good day and then they make one comment and you're just like, ugh. Yeah, to take your vibe down, to keep your vibe up and consistent, at a consistent frequency, instead of allowing people to shake you. And when you also love yourself, you're going to have all of the belief that you need, and you're going to not need permission from anyone else, because that's what we look for, right? Is permission to do something. That's really much what social media seems to be. And that's why we post things. We want permission from other people to do certain things in our life because we don't trust ourselves. And so that, for this whole week, this next 4 days after today, that's my wish for you, is that you're going to feel so secure and confident in your decisions, and you're going to forgive your past. You're going to hold and hug and embrace and honor your past because it deserves to be honored. It is not it's not a way to make you feel unworthy. Okay, that's what it is. It's not a way for people to make you feel less than worthy. And also remember, when somebody criticizes you or passes judgment, it's projecting. They're projecting onto you their inner feelings and how they feel about themselves. It's never about you. And I hope that as the week goes on, you'll understand that a little bit better. So, okay, so yes, that's the video for today. And I don't know how long I went because I wanted to not have it be like super long. So I hope it wasn't super long, but I will put the steps at the top as far as what to do to get closer to that place of completely embracing and loving your past and not letting anybody like talk crap to you about your past, because that's their problem. And remember that. I say that to David too when he says stuff like that. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, that's still a problem for you, but it's not for me. And I love it. Actually, I love that I dated all those guys and I had those relationships because they made me the woman I am and loving him the way that I do. Okay, so I will see you tomorrow, and I put my website at the bottom, thesoulrelaunch.com. I'm building it right now and would love to have some comments on what it is or what you would like to see on there or whatever. All right, any suggestions you have, just let me know. Okay, and I'll talk to you ladies later. Bye-bye.